Hey everybody, this is Robert from Black Belt Gaming. We're ready to really start the first scene. This is not a combat scene, so we're not really worrying about initiative and range and all that kind of stuff. And I've also told the guys on Facebook that have volunteered to play with us to don't worry too much about posting long sections of dialogue or anything like that. We're going to basically try to do this as something between a board game, which is, basically the foundation of my channel, and a role-playing game, which is a big interest of mine, and I've done some content of that on my channel as well. So kind of bridging between the two. We're really going to approach this something a bit more like I did with Descent. And we're going to have players declare their actions and their intentions, and then I'll move forward from there. So any other flavor text or anything they want to add on their posts on Facebook, I'm going to share it with you. So let's get started. One point that does need to be mentioned, just for the rules and kind of the character sheets and their statistics. Running through the streets, it's very hot outside. They're basically fearing for their lives. They've taken 2 strain. So each character here now has suffered 2 points of strain. This is important because as we roll the dice, if we get some of these symbols, that will allow the characters to kind of get a boost and recover that strain that's taken. That's kind of like a fatigue in Descent. So that might make a difference. So everybody right now, even the droid, has suffered 2 strain. So that'll be something that I'm going to note here in my notes and want players to be aware of. So we've got 2 things like that we'll keep track of. And that is, I think it's right here, wounds and strain. So we're going to be starting with the Wookie, and his strain will be down to 8. Or actually, you count up, and if it goes over 10, so he's going to have a strain of 2. So counting up, he's got 2 points of strain. Well, Daniel Reed, a friend to Black Belt Gaming there on Facebook, says, as Lowrick scanned the cantina floor, he quickly realized 2 things. 1, he was the only Wookiee in the place, and 2, he stood out like a droid in a sandstorm. He did not have much time, and he recalled on a previous visit that the bartender had a small closet space that he might find some cover in. He also seemed to remember Timo shaking down the bartender pretty hard, so maybe that would go in his favor. Hoping his new friends would find safety as well, he quickly moved for the shadows of the closet space ahead. So here goes the Wookiee approaching the bar, and he's going to attempt to get behind there and get into the closet. So as he begins to vault over the bar to get behind there, the bartender, as you might imagine, steps forward to protest. Let's see what happens. A gladiator and Wookiee here, this hired gun, would not attempt some sort of charm or diplomacy. He would probably go the route of intimidation. We don't specifically have an intimidation skill, but we do have coerce, and the rules say that that's basically part of what intimidation would fall under. And we've got 2 green dice. Now, the difficulty here is just a single purple difficulty die. Remember that any of these symbols that come up are failures, and then these, what are they called? Threat. Those are going to cancel any of these symbols which are considered advantage. The little explosions are successes, and he's going to need at least 1 success. Now, shouldn't a Wookiee, a gladiator, get some sort of bonus here for being intimidating? Well, I absolutely think so. So I'm not only going to give him 1 boost die, I'm going to give him 2, because this is one intimidating Wookiee. So let's see what happens. Alright, it looks like we've got one failure and one threat. Got a good number of advantage here, so that's going to total 3 advantage. And then we've got one success canceled, so let's go ahead and move that out. That's going to give us 2 successes and a total of 3 advantage. It's a very good roll for the Wookiee. Well, we're going to say with such a great roll that the bartender not only changes his mind and steps back, he actually steps over to the closet, unlocks the door, and gestures with a welcoming gesture for the Wookiee to head inside. So Lorik's going to step inside here and hide in the closet. Now, along with this, with the extra advantage that was rolled, the Wookiee can spend those advantage points that he rolled on his dice to recover strain. So we're going to allow him to spend 2 of those symbols and kind of refresh himself. He kind of feels a wave of relief now that he's in the closet and out of sight. Well, our next character is Vex, and he is following the Wookiee. Vex is played by Daniel Campen, and he says he follows the Wookiee into the cantina and scans the area. A few possible hiding places pop out to him, but seeing the Wookiee hop the bar and hide inside the closet, he clumsily does the same. It's really a tiny closet, and with both of them stuffed in it, the quarters are quite tight. Turning his attention to the locking mechanism, he inserts his interface device and begins hacking into the cantina's mainframe with the intent of bringing down the main lights to help Pash hide from the thugs. So this is interesting. Well, he's not going to have to roll to get past the bartender. The Wookiees moved him out of the way, and no one else sitting around is objecting. So we're going to say that the droid can squeeze in there, and then he's going to attempt some sort of action here to dim the lights here in the cantina. So what would we need to do? Well, here we have the droid, and that sounds like a mechanics check to me. Basically attempting to hack the system. So he's going to have a good chance here. He's going to roll 1 yellow, which is, what is that die called again? A proficiency die. And then 3 of the normal dice. So let's get his dice pool ready. He's going to stay with the same difficulty. So he's got one of these, the proficiency dice, and then he's going to get all 3 of the green. So let's give it a roll and see if his action is successful. Looks like it's going to be. In fact, with this threat and disadvantage will cancel, so everything else is good to go. We have 1 success and 1, 2, 3, 4 advantage. Well, we're going to say that Vex also has the opportunity to recover his strain. So his strain is going to drop from 2 and go to a value of 0. I'm just noting that on my device here. And continuing on, with that great roll, with the advantage there, he manages to lock the door to the closet and dim the lights. So exactly what he wanted to do. No problems there. Oscara is played by my friend on Facebook, Odd Gunnar Wickmark, or the Norwegian, as he said we could call him. He said, for a second, Oscara considers firing her gun, creating havoc and chaos among the cantina guests. But suddenly she recognizes the dancer as a fellow Twi'lek, probably brought into slavery and sold on as an entertainer. Oscara hastily moves across the cantina. So here she goes, crossing the cantina to the stage. And she attempts to get the attention of the dancer and tries to persuade her to be quiet and let Oscara slip behind the scene out of view from her followers. If successful, she will crouch down behind the curtain, peeping out and readying her gun. Well, him taking this action, or I should say Oscara here, her taking that particular action, is almost right out of the adventure book. So we know exactly what we need to do, but we have a choice whether we want to approach this with either charm, which gives us 3 dice, or coerce, which is 2. So we're going to go the route of the charm with the better chance. So we're not attempting to intimidate, but rather trying to make an appeal toward to this Twi'lek dancer to help us out. So same difficulty die, got the 3 there, and just like in the book, Twi'lek to Twi'lek, female to female, we're going to give her a boost die. So let's see how this goes. Oh, 3 successes. However, there is 1 threat. Interesting. So it definitely succeeds, and succeeds in a big way. But something a little on the negative side occurred. Well, this is what happens. The appeal works, and the Twi'lek dancer motions that she can come on up, but she looks scared, and she's going to have to try to maintain her composure and keep dancing, knowing that something really bad is about to happen. So, feeling badly about putting a sister Twi'lek in trouble like this, Oscara takes 1 additional point of strain. This is almost right out of the book. I think the example in the adventure book is almost identical, where it was successful, but there was a threat. So she has not recovered her strain, so Oscara now has a total of 3 strain. And let's see what her threshold is. It's probably pretty good. Yeah, she can take 13. So only 3 points up with the strain for her. So there she is, successfully behind the stage. Now let's go to Pash. Well, Jason Ellis, he has stepped in and taken on the role of Pash. He says Pash quickly sizes up the bar, noting any other exits than the door they just strode through. And right now he really doesn't see any, but there must be some. You'd think there would be an emergency door somewhere. Don't see anyone on the map, so nothing is immediately in view for Pash. This, in case of a fire, this may be a death trap. So he coolly saunters over to the bar and orders a drink. And just as he sits down at the bar, the lights dim and get really dim, thanks to the droid, Vex 41. So he orders a drink from the barkeeper and begins chatting up another patron at the bar. So he is attempting to blend in. And as a human, he'll have a better chance, say, than the droid or the Wookie. Well, this is all about playing it cool here and keeping his composure. So 3 dice here for Pash on his roll. And we're definitely going to give him the boost here for the dimming lights. So let's see how well he can blend in. We've got 3 successes, which is good because one of those successes is canceled. We've got 1 advantage, and that's canceled by the threat. So all of that's gone. And we're ending with 2 successes. So Pash does a good job. He sits down, remains calm, and orders a drink. The bartender looks a little nervous at first, but then gives him a nod, and things continue on as usual. Actually, the Once everybody's in place, kind of the conversations pick up again and people go about their business. Well, that's going to finish up the character's actions, so we're now moving on to moments after you hide yourself. A small troop of pig-like Gamorreans carrying heavy bone-breaking clubs step through the door. Timo's enforcers. They blink, their beady little eyes in the gloom peering about. Then, seeing nothing of interest, they grunt and whine in their primitive language and turn to go. You know they'll keep looking for you until you take them out. With their backs turned, it's the perfect moment to strike. We're supposed to continue on to encounter 2, and encounter 2 is our combat encounter. It's time to begin the combat. Alright, well the thugs have come in and kind of walked around for a moment and saw nothing and are about to head back out the door. And it's the perfect chance for an ambush. We'll let the characters decide their next action. They're going to basically have the first chance to attack, but we need to consider something different for this particular encounter. Unlike the first scene, we're going to have to go in an order of initiative here. Well, here is our order right out of the book. It says if the heroes hid themselves successfully, 3 of the player characters get to go and take their actions. Then the thugs go, and then the last player character will take his action. When you're doing this at a table, this kind of thing is a little easier to do. So I'm going to modify this a little bit, and I don't think that the players will object. Since they were successful in their actions to hide, I'm going to give all of the player characters their chance to go first, and then I will follow with the actions of the enemies. So all 4 of you decide what you want to do, and then after you take your actions, I will respond with the Gamorreans. Well, you may have a question about what the rules say you can do on your turn. Well, it says when it's your character's turn, you can perform a single action and a single maneuver in any order. And don't confuse the two. Actions are not maneuvers, and maneuvers are not actions. However, let's look at possible actions. For your action, you can perform an attack. You can use a skill. Or you can give up your attack or skill option and perform a second maneuver. Alright, so what are maneuvers? Well, maneuvers allow you to move, and you can change the range. So if you're really close, you can back up, and if you want to get even farther away, you can do that. So you can change the range. You can ready a weapon or stow a weapon or item. You can use a stim pack to heal yourself. You can open or close a door or flip over a table. You can aim. You can aim your weapon to gain one of those boost die for your next attack. Or you can say that you're taking cover. And as a maneuver, if you take cover, your opponents will have to roll one of the black dice. It's called a setback die on their attacks against you. So there you go. Each of you has a chance to perform an action and a maneuver. So in any order you want to go, all 4 of you are going to have a chance to go first. Let me know what you'd like to do, and I'll play it out for you. Thanks everybody. Catch you again soon.